Good evening. Today is day 90, which is the big day on the NoFap calendar. And I'm making this little celebratory video to just recap how it's been and then give you some advice and encouragement. So, just to recap, um, you know, at this point, most of the compulsive desire is gone, which is really, really good. The temptations are a lot weaker than they are for you in the first month, 2 months period. My mind is a lot quieter because it's not full of all this dirty, evil, demonic stuff, which means in return that I'm not as feeling isolated. So it's a lot easier for me to approach people and talk to people. And because I've been confessing constantly to my friends and talking about my emotions with them, because remember, this pornography, it's an emotional outlet for emotional frustration. So if you go and talk to your friends about when you're feeling frustrated and stressed, it never even becomes a serious temptation. And because I've been talking to my friends about my emotions, even though that was, awkward or it's weird to be vulnerable, now I'm a lot less lonely and a lot less, up in my head. Um, and now I'm waking up in the morning feeling way better and feeling a lot just calmer and more at peace because I'm not, carrying around all the shame of what I was doing the night before. So the physical action of abstaining from pornography and masturbation and repenting from those things, and the physical action of confession has physical benefits, physical rewards, where you're going to feel way better. It's like when you're sick and when you're healthy. When you're healthy, you can't remember what it was like when you were sick. When you're sick, you can't remember what it was like when you were healthy. And that's exactly how it feels right now. Um, Second thing I wanted to talk about was that I remember a time, and it wasn't long ago, it was like around January, when if I was tempted to a certain degree, I knew it was going to happen. I was going to carry out this temptation. I was going to watch pornography. And there was this horrible feeling of helplessness, this like internal screaming at the knowledge that there was nothing I could do about this. I was going to go down this path. Um, and that's gone now, right? Like now, when I feel temptation, you know, I can pray, I can confess, I can ask for help from other people, and it doesn't manifest. And that's victory over sin, and it's freedom from that slavery, and it's a really good feeling. It's a real good feeling. Um, but if you're somebody that's like, oh man, I'm addicted, I need this, I can't change. Like I was that way, all right. Like don't I couldn't stop. I was doing it every 36 to 72 hours. Like come on, you know you can't be worse than what I was doing. And Last thing that I wanted to say is that I remember this time when I was at officer candidate school, and all the other candidates were telling stories about like what they accomplished in their lives, and I was so jealous. Like one guy was a big game hunter, another guy played football for his college. I was like, oh man, how come they got to do all these cool things? I was trying to think like, where is the time? And I realized it was because when I was in college, I was playing video games for about 2 hours a day at minimum, and that's why I didn't have time for doing all these cool, exciting things. And pornography is exactly like that. If you don't stop now, you are going to see people your age doing the things that you, when you were a kid, thought you were going to do, and now you're like, I'm just an emotionally repressed teenager on the inside because I refuse to grow up. I refuse to get rid of this thing, uh, and so you don't want to have that moment. It's a horrible feeling. You don't want to have that feeling of I've wasted my life. Um, and I just I just want to end on a positive note. Like if you had told me, this is what you got to do. If you got to pay me $1,000 to be 90 days clean from pornography, I probably would have done it because I couldn't think of any other way. I thought there's no way Mike is going to get there. There's no way I could get there. There's no way I could resist that long. Um, but it's happened, and it's happened because I confessed my sin. You don't keep it a secret. And I talk to other people about my feelings, and I pray to God for help. And you have to really want to be clean, and you have to tell yourself when in the low moments when you're tempted, you have to tell yourself, where you are going is way, way better than where you are coming from. And just remember, sin is spiritual, right? So I'm still very sinful. I sin, thinking dirty thoughts. I sin with lustful intent and all that. Um, but physical actions have physical consequences. If you go to the gym and lift weights, you're going to get strong. If you sit on your couch, you're going to get weak. If you watch pornography and masturbate, you're going to suffer from the consequences of that. And if you abstain from that and you go and you share your feelings and you confess and you pray, you're going to benefit from that. So I repeated myself, but God bless you, and Godspeed.